Good afternoon and welcome to Channel 6. I'm Dorothy White with Community Focus, and our Community Focus is on a wonderful subject today. We have Linda here with us, and Linda, how long have you been here?
I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary October 30th, so this is my fun retirement job.
Oh my
gosh. Yes.
I know how that goes.
Yes.
We do have fun retirement
Yes.
jobs. It's like the best thing that ever happened.
Yes, it is.
It's so much
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
And Miss Linda McCloskey, I know we go back a ways.
Yes.
We have a mutual friend, Mr. Bill,
Yes.
he was my first board chairman, and he was such a great guy. I thought they were all going to be like that. But he did a wonderful job, and now you're here
Yes.
at the Whiskey Museum.
Yes.
And I understand the Oscar Getz Whiskey Museum has been here for many, many years. And here's the reason why, right here.
Yes.
We have Miss Emma Getz and then Oscar Getz.
Oscar Getz, yes.
Okay.
This is Mr. Oscar Getz. He used to own Barton's Distillery, and when he passed away in 1983, Miss Emma was going to sell the distillery, but Mr. Oscar Getz had acquired a vast museum of whiskey and whiskey artifacts, and she did not want to sell that with her distillery. So what she did was she paid for having the north wing of Spalding Hall. She paid to have it renovated in order to house his museum. And the reason why that we are nonprofit is because Miss Emma, who's a very sweet lady, Miss Emma said that she never wanted anyone to have to pay to see her husband's museum. So we are still honoring that today. And they had one adopted son, Bill Getz, and he has 2 biological children, and one lives in Louisville, Randy Getz, and he is on our board as of January of this year. So we are very proud of that.
That is wonderful, and I just have noticed how you just put the spit and polish on this place. It had gone to kind of disrepair over the years, and it takes a lot to keep a building like this in good repair.
Yes.
So it looks like you've been working really hard.
We have. I started, as I told you, October 30th of last year, and on January 1, I closed the museum and did not open it up again until May 19th, and everything was taken down. Everything in the museum was painted. Everything was cleaned, and I worked with Fraser Museum, who, by the way, they are absolutely wonderful family community partners, and they have gifted me their Prohibition exhibit. So we have the Prohibition exhibit, compliments of the Fraser Museum, and they came down and even helped us put up a lot of the exhibits. So it has been wonderful. And as you can see, we have lots of Christmas trees, and we're getting ready for our Christmas tree extravaganza with the distilleries. And in addition to that, we're going to be on the home Christmas tour December 8th. So everybody come out and enjoy.
Okay, so December 8th, we got to put that on our calendar.
Yes, from 2 to 8, December 8th, it's the home Christmas tour. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know the different distilleries have donated trees and are decorating them this year, and that's the first time ever.
Yes.
So our Festival of Trees, and when is that going to really open? Is that going to be with the home tour?
Well, that's going to be with it, but it's also going to be separate. I'm going to be opening November 30th, December 7th, and December 14th on Friday nights, 3 consecutive Friday nights from 6 to 9. And so it's open for anyone. It's free. You don't have to pay a penny. Just come in and enjoy the festivities and enjoy the museum.
That sounds
Yes.
wonderful,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes. Yes.
Well, let's go in here and start with our very first tree. And I believe you said it was Heaven Hill?
No, this tree is from Willett.
Oh, from Willett,
Brittany
okay.
came out yesterday from Willett, and she put the tree up, and I am very excited about it. She actually has some little ornaments that have real liquor in them. So these are the little miniatures. So we're going to have to be careful when people come in here. But she has worked really hard, and they have like the little cups here. So we are and she's done the mantle as well. So I am very excited about showcasing it. And you can see they have the Willett barrelhead, their famous steel that they have, the Willett steel bottle. So that is their trademark. So I'm very proud of that.
Well, I love how excited everyone is getting
Yes.
about this. I think a Festival of Trees is a wonderful event to add to the list of things we have going on around Bardstown. There's so much already, and so when people are here, they've got family and friends in, they're going to have something to get excited and something to visit.
This is our road to Prohibition. It's got lots of different facts on it. When I give a tour, I like to point out a few things for people because a lot of people are not aware. In 1620, the Puritans traveling on the Mayflower were documented to have brought 10,000 gallons of wine and 10,100 gallons of beer for its 135 settlers and crew. That was 149 gallons per person. I'm surprised America was ever discovered. But of course, they had to drink the wine and the beer because the water was salty, and they had to have that for their liquid. Another thing that I like to point out is George Washington's Mount Vernon Distillery. A lot of people are not aware of how involved our president, our George Washington, our president, was in the distillery business. In 1797, it was 600 gallons that he distilled. The next year, he increased it to 4,500. And the next year, in 1799, it was 110,000 gallons, and he just kept going. So he was very involved in the distillery business. Another one that I point out on our road to Prohibition is in 1906, there were more saloons than schools, churches, or libraries in the United States. And a lot of people are very amazed about that. Going right along, you see the entire Prohibition was about the dries versus the wets. The dries were all of your religious leaders, your politicians, your teetotalers, and they said that if you had anything at all to do with Prohibition and with the liquor and the bourbon, that you were just cursed, that your life was going to be a disaster. The wets said absolutely not. They said not only do we have a job and we're able to support our families and pay for our homes, but we enjoy our weekends a little bit more than you all do. So everything was about the dries versus the wets during Prohibition.
And now we're joined in the chapel. Yes. So Linda and I are looking around at this beautiful, beautiful room. We have the wonderful chapel here that you do weddings and different events, and you actually have an event coming up this evening.
Yes, we are getting ready for Nelson County Leadership. They're going to have their dinner in here tonight from 6 to 9, and I believe it's going to be catered by the Rick House.
Oh, so, that is so great. It's nice having the restaurant so close because that proximity, then they can just bring the food up. It's going to be nice and hot and delicious. Yes. Well, let's look over here, and Gary, we can show them the beautiful job that these ladies are doing, and they're with the Limestone Distillery, and it looks like you're putting little bottles on there.
Yes.
Oh, that looks, I see.
They have been working hard.
Yeah. But how long does it take you to decorate a tree like this?
This is 3.5 hours.
3.5? Yeah. Well, it looks beautiful, ladies. It's really going to be gorgeous.
We are so excited that all the distilleries have been so supportive and coming out and taking their time away from their distilleries and sending their staff out to actually help us with our Festival of Trees, of extravaganza that we're going to have. So everyone has been very cooperative and great community partners. I have been so pleased with all the support. And here's our tree that we got. We have another tree on our chapel. This is sort of our old-fashioned tree. We have like an old-fashioned tricycle. This is an actual goat wagon from Germany, and we put some presents in it and a little rocking horse. So we're excited for the people to come out. The day that we have the Bardstown home tour, December the 8th, I'm going to have Santa Claus in here. So Santa Claus is going to be up here, and we're going to take some pictures, and we're going to have refreshments, and people will have some punch and cookies. So everyone come on out. It's going to be a great fun day.
Yeah. Well, I love what you have done with this, Linda. This room just looks fabulous. It's a beautiful room anyway, but the tree and everything is just, it's going to be gorgeous.
This chapel houses our Bardstown Historical Museum, and everything in here was donated to us. We do not ask for any donations. People just come and say, this is what we want to put in. It must be from Nelson County or Bardstown. So all of these are our history that's right here. So if you want to see a little glimpse of history, come on in.
We have another beautiful tree here. I love what they've done with this one, Linda. And whose tree is this?
This is Heaven Hill, and they have done Candyland. They have also done our staircase, as we will see in a minute, our staircase in Candyland and our front steps in Candyland. So Jeff Crow had his girls out here, and he was here all day, and they were decorating and have done a beautiful job. I'm very pleased. They are great community partners as well. So they very, very supportive of the museum, very supportive.
Well, I know some kids are going to be very excited when they come in and see this.
Yes.
Okay, and we'll just travel on down here. I know we've got some more trees to go, and every room is just beautiful. And I love what you've done with it, with the decorating, and just how much you've just polished everything up and made it look so nice.
It has been here. We have a bootlegger. I don't know if you want to watch this. Most people think of a bootlegger as being an old farmer with a bushy beard. But when she takes her jacket off, or her coat off, and you come around on this side, you can see that she actually had devices strapped around her legs to where she could actually put the bottles in, and she could actually go ahead and sell her liquor and bootleg it out. So we had working girls even back then, supporting their family. I just showed you all a bootlegger in the hall, and this is where the term bootlegger came from. The stagecoach drivers knew where to stop and go up into the hills of Kentucky, and they needed to be able to fill their flask up. And since it was treacherous on walking down, they did not want to take a chance on dropping their bottle, and so they just stuck it into the side of their boot, and that's where the term bootlegger came from. Another term that is interesting that people are amazed by is that E.G. Booze was one of our early distillers, and a lot of the people started saying, let's go drink some booze, and it just stuck. So now we have, we still call it booze. We still talk about that. Behind me you will see some bottles that Mr. Oscar Getz, this was part of his initial museum that he had at his distillery. We have lots of things in here. This is just a sample of the many things that we have. So you need to come out and take a tour and see all of the things that we have that are displayed and showcased here in our museum.
And we're in another beautiful room, and in this room we have a gorgeous tree that's been decorated by another distillery.
Yes, Barton's Distillery, and we're very proud of this room because Mr. Oscar Getz used to own Barton's Distillery. So most of the things that are in the north wing here belong to Mr. Oscar Getz, who the museum is named for. And so now Barton's has a different ownership, but I have all of his history here. So we are very pleased and very proud to have their tree and to showcase them. I'm very proud to showcase all of them, but especially Barton's, yes.
And that looks like a very interesting tree, too. I see a lot of fantastic decorations, and I love how they've incorporated some of the bottles because the glass just picks up the light and makes it just beautiful. And then the mantles as well. And it's interesting how there is a fireplace in almost every single room in this building, isn't there?
This used to be classrooms, and so they used to heat this, and it was built in 1823, and it started out as being a college and a seminary, and so all of the rooms, they were heated by wood, so that was their source of heat back then.
Okay, so they did need.
Yes, so this wasn't just for looks. This was their source of heat that they had. Yes, it was. This building has worn many hats. As I said, it started out, was built in 1823 as a college and a seminary for Catholic priests, and then during the Civil War, the Sisters of Charity turned it into a hospital, and it was mostly a hospital for Confederate soldiers for the first 3 years, and then as the Union was moving in and they knew that they were going to be taking over and winning and claiming the area, the sisters, they moved 200 of the 250 patients out, and then whenever the Union came in, they put their sick and wounded in. So the sisters, for the last year of the Civil War, the sisters had Union and Confederate soldiers in here that were fighting and cussing and throwing bottles, and so I'm sure the sisters were having a hard time keeping peace. And after the Civil War, the sisters turned this building into an orphanage and a school. We had a lot of orphans after the Civil War. People don't realize that a lot of moms were killed as well as the dads. So they turned it into an orphanage, and it stayed an orphanage until 1911. At that time, it was turned into St. Joe Prep, which was a private high school for Catholic boys, and it stayed St. Joe Prep until 1968. And then, as I told you before, in 1983 was whenever that Miss Emma paid for having this wing renovated to house Mr. Oscar Getz Whiskey Museum.
Well, we're certainly glad that she did.
Yes.
Because this is something, it is the history of our community, and the many hats that Spalding Hall has worn over the years. I think a lot of people don't realize just how much it's been utilized. And when you come in here and you see these beautiful tall windows and just how well everything has been kept up, and I know a lot of that has happened just within the last year or so, and I know it was in need of that.
Yes,
It
yes.
really needed to be, I think, just updated a little bit as far as paint, color. I know your floors look beautiful. It just looks like a very nice place that you want to visit.
And I refer to this place as Bardstown's best kept secret because many people are not even aware that we're here. So I'm hoping that through the Christmas tour that lots of
Okay.
people will come out and lots of people will be able to enjoy it. I want people to enjoy. And I'm a
course.
retired teacher, and I've already had some students come in and do history lessons, and I
Oh,
want to
okay.
continue doing that. So,
Okay.
you know, and I have the chapel is used for lots of different activities, weddings, showers. I had a UK event. Tonight we're having Nelson County Leaderships having their award dinner in the chapel. Tomorrow, Dimitri's, one of our new distilleries, he's having a big announcement in the chapel tomorrow. So there's lots of activities that are going on, and I'm really pleased. And if anybody wants to have an activity,
Yeah.
please feel free to come and call us here. Our phone number is 502-348-2999, and we are open 10 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday, and on Sunday we're open 12 to 4. So we're closed on Mondays now. But, you know, please come out and visit us and see all of the wonderful things and enjoy Christmas and the festivities that we're going to have.
Well, thank you, Linda. I think this has been such a good experience, and I know a lot of our folks out there know some of the things that are going on in Bardstown, but they might not be aware of this Festival of Trees, and so we're glad to, you know, showcase that
Yes.
today. And also the Tour of Homes is going to be on December 8th, and you're going to be a part of that
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've done that in the past, but I know the Festival of Trees is just going to add so much to that.
This is the very first year that that we have been on the home tour, and we had to be approved, and they came in and approved us for that. And so we're also going to be doing the refreshments. So hopefully everyone will come out and enjoy the lights and have some punch and some cookies and possibly even some bourbon balls. And so we're going to have a good time. We're going to have Santa Claus. We're going to have some people in here playing music. So it's going to be a fun day, especially on December the 8th. It's going to be a fun day.
And we are looking forward to Christmas this year, and especially at the Oscar Getz Whiskey Museum and with Linda McCloskey. We really appreciate all your time and energy that you've put into this project and our Festival of
Yes.
Trees, and it's going to be here before we know it.
It is.
And we hope to see you all there.
Yes, welcome, and everyone come out and enjoy it. We do not have all of our trees up yet, so we have lots more surprises for you all. So there's lots of things that have not been put up yet that you all will be here to enjoy. So everyone come out. We're open, as I said again, on November the 30th, December the 7th, December the 14th from 6 to 9, as well as the Home Christmas Tour, December the 8th from 2 to 8.
Well, thank you so much, Linda. We're really looking forward to that. And I, for one, am really glad to have you in this position, and I know it's just going to be very successful.
Yes, and I hope it gets bigger every year. Every year, yes.